The king is dead, long live the king. At least that's what it feels like. Today feels quite symbolic, actually. It's the first game, the official start, if you like, of Julen Lopetegui's reign, his project at West Ham. Whereas last night felt like the end of a reign in terms of England. So it's weird that ends on the Sunday, and on the Monday it is, a fresh start. We get something to look forward to. And I'm pleased of that, by the way, because I didn't want to spend too much time, too many days dwelling on what happened with England. We'll deal with England in the first part of this video, then we'll deal with West Ham and the upcoming friendly. If you want to skip to that, then you're obviously more than welcome. England's problems remain, and they remain the same. And it's not an unwillingness to retain the ball, an inability to retain possession. When things get desperate, we revert to type, we start hoofing the ball. And playing our players out of position. That's not hindsight. We discussed this in videos before these championships. Sat down here, discussed it with Gio and said what England's problems are. They remain the same. Forget this new era stuff. Where we do progress slightly further now than we did do. But these comments that England, unlucky England, we lost to the best team. Well, there will always be a best team. There will always be a Spain. And until England start trying to become the best team, then these problems are just going to remain. I think England did well, bearing in mind all things considered and our obvious limitations that we do have these ingrained problems, which I think are probably mental as much as anything else. Mental in terms of the team, how the team resort to the long ball. Mental in terms of how it doesn't seem to matter which manager we have. Players get played out of position. Until that stops, we're going to have these problems. And Southgate has done well because he gets further in competitions than other managers have for quite a while. Was it 2 finals, a semi-final, a quarter-final? But it'd be wrong to call it success. And if we call it success, we're not going to fix what's broken. There was something which really exemplified England's problems. England were 2-1 down. It was near the end, 85 minutes, something like that. I couldn't remember. We got a throw-in. The throw-in was right near the dugout. And in the England technical area was one of the substitutes. I couldn't see which one, but they had the bib on. I think the throw-in got thrown to Mark Gay. He was brilliant, by the way. It's not a downer on everything England have done. It's about how England make the next step and become the best and how we avoid the problems that we encounter perennially. I mean, anyway. So the throw-in was about to be thrown to Mark Gay here. That happened, and the substitute started pointing, but not towards the Spain goal. The substitute was pointing towards Jordan Pickford. Give it to Jordan. He was saying something like that. Well, he did give it to Jordan Pickford, and Jordan Pickford hoofed it up the pitch, and England lost possession. That happened on countless occasions in the second half. And even if Jordan Pickford wasn't doing it, somebody else was doing it, or it would be hoofed up, and it would be a game of head tennis. England players are better than that. Declan Rice plays in the technical team. Mainu plays in a technical team. Any number of them, Phil Foden, you can start making the case for all these players. Yet when the going gets tough, their technique deserts them and they can't retain the ball and resort to hoofball. And it's easy. For the top teams, if we concede that Spain are the top team and the best team in the competition, and I think most would agree, the top teams in competitions, the top teams on continents, are not bothered by hoofball. England got progressively deeper and sat back, and we launched the ball long. Very, very familiar. The thing about playing players out of position, it's become, I think, a little bit fashionable to not like Jude Bellingham. I've certainly gathered that from social media over the last few weeks. And there'll be a lot of people that don't agree that Jude Bellingham is our best player. However, that would not be a view that's echoed in Spain. And the view from Spain's quite important, right? Because they're the champions, they're the best. And once again, we saw one of our, even if you don't think he is our best player, one of our better players played on the left wing. Now, I don't think Bellingham has had a great tournament, but I don't really think many players have had a great tournament. But to see him played on the left wing is very, very familiar to anybody who's been watching England for a long time. I've seen Steven Gerrard played out there. I've seen Paul Scholes played out there. I've seen John Barnes. When John Barnes had been moved into the centre for Liverpool and he was tearing it up, England continued to play him on the left wing. He was a superb player, Barnes, by the way. There are more. There's so many. There's so many players like that you get played out of position. Again, it's the same thing. And until England start to address these age-old problems that we have, I just don't think we're going to beat the best teams. It's weird, actually, and I'll tell you why it's weird, because Southgate is, in many respects, ideally placed, because he will know all of this. Southgate knew this to such an extent that when he was FA Technical Director, he implemented an overhaul, which had been started by Trevor Brooking when he was FA Technical Director, to be fair. Southgate implemented a set of structures in youth team football, parks football. If you've got kids and they play in the park, the reason they're playing on small pitches now with small goals and aren't allowed to hoof the ball out from the back and is because of people like Southgate, who was FA Technical Director. So Southgate, as much as anybody, understands the need for ball retention. He understands and has been part of England's squads that failed because of ball retention and because of technique. Yet despite him having this knowledge, there he was sending out this team to play in a very, very traditional English way. And it was a weird thing to behold. It was a weird thing to watch. It was as if all his beliefs had been sacrificed, all of his work as FA Technical Director to create this more technical team had ultimately deserted him. And deserted the team itself, because when it came to the crunch, when things got a little bit sticky, we might as well have been England under Graham Taylor, quite frankly. The ball was just being hoofed up the pitch. And that's got to be frustrating in terms of however long it's been. I mean, we're looking at sort of 30-odd years here of root and branch inquiries and investigations from the FA to look into what's wrong with English football, and then for us to try and fix them only to get that. And as I say, there are people celebrating it, and I guess it is an achievement. It's an achievement to get to the final, it is, but it ain't success. And if England want to start winning stuff, we need to address that stuff. Right, anyway, let's have a little chat about West Ham, because it is the start of a new era for West Ham. There's no doubt about it, and I'm excited about it. Before I do that, can I please point you in the direction of our Patreon page? What is Patreon? Well, Patreon is Hammers Chats. Basically, it's our third Hammers Chat channel, really. You've got this one over on the forum channel here, got the main channel, and then we have a third channel, which is our subscription service. Now, we provide a load, and I mean a ton of additional content on there. So if you just can't get enough of West Ham stuff and you want to go and have a look and take a look at something else, then the link is in the description below. It's patreon.com/HammersChat. We got so many videos over there, so many different podcasts, so many different people. We got analytical stuff. We have got some funny podcasts. We've got interviews. We have ex-referees on there. We have ex-West Ham coaches. We have scouts on there. We have breakfast shows. We got player ratings. We have meetups. We arrange events. We give tickets away. We give signed shirts away. We give discounts to our online store. There's so much stuff going on over there. Best of all, we've got a 7-day free trial. So if you want to go and check it out, the link's in the description below. Patreon.com/HammersChat. Best of all, it's a great way, and probably the best way that you guys can support Hammers Chat, keeping us going and allowing us to basically uploading as much as we do, and which allows me to sit here on a Monday morning whinging about England. But I'm not going to whinge now, talking about West Ham. I'm looking forward to this. Whoever scheduled this, by the way, 3 p.m, right on the bloody school run. So I'm annoyed about it, and so are my kids. But anyway, so look, we're off. We're in Austria. We're playing Ferencváros. I can't claim to know anything about a big, actually historical club. Really, really serious football club they are. And I'm looking forward to seeing a little bit of what Lopetegui can do now. There's certain things that people say when you get to this point. It's the old fun police come out, which is can't read anything to pre-season friendlies. It's the same thing when West Ham sell a young player. What West Ham player's gone on and made it at West Ham? You get that as well. And it's the other one. I won't believe it. I won't believe a player's signed till I see him holding up the shirt. Yeah, there's all of that stuff, and all that is true. But there's... I love this stuff. It's part of the reason why I do Hammers Chat, I guess. I love all this stuff. I love the transfer rumours. I love the pre-season friendlies. So, you know what? It's something to get involved in. And in many respects, we know so little about Lopetegui that this is actually... Does the result mean anything? No. I don't think anybody thinks it does, but it is a little insight. We're going to get a little glimpse into how we're going to play. Now, it's early days. We're going to see players feature in this team that are not going to be part of Lopetegui's plans. And we are not going to see players in this team who are not here and not at a training camp who eventually are going to be part of Lopetegui's plans. So we're not going to see the full version of the team. There can be some under-21 players featuring. I'm looking forward to seeing them because they've been so prominent in pre-season training. There are going to be some players, probably like Danny Ings featuring, who don't have any future at the club, really. However, there are going to be some insights, and I think we're going to get a little look at shape, and we're going to get a little look at how Lopetegui wants the team to play. Over the past, let me have a little swig of my tea. Excuse me. That's what happens when you talk for a long time. We're getting little glimpses in terms of the interviews that the West Ham media team have been putting out over the last few days. So we've been introduced to Lopetegui, and bit by bit we're getting introduced to his staff. So, yesterday's Oscar, can't quite remember his name, but we'll learn their names obviously as we get more acquainted with them. It was really interesting to listen to his interview. He was talking about habits, drilling habits into the team. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't ever expect in these interviews, particularly when the players are being interviewed, I don't expect them to say anything derogatory. So it's not that they're saying nice things, it's what they're saying. And there's no doubt about it, whether you're hearing George Earthy talking about it, or whether you're hearing some of the coaches, there's a possession-based style being implemented here. And there's new things going on in training. We keep hearing this. It's new. This is new. So I'll be interested to see what happens today. I'll be really, really interested. Will I read too much into it? Excuse me. I need to get myself sorted. I might be on my deathbed by the time we get to this evening's game. Will I read too much into it? No, certainly won't. But I will be looking for little pointers. I'll be looking for little bits of intrigue. I'll be looking for shape as much as anything. I'll be looking for maybe license that the centre-backs have got. How far up are the full-backs going to be playing? That sort of thing. Are we going to see somebody playing out of position? I know I just criticised it with England, but I mean that's slightly different. I think at club level, managers see players. I mean, David Moyes did it with Mikel Antonio, but wasn't the only one, was he? Sometimes they see players. I think, hold on, maybe that's not his position. I'm going to train him up to be another position. We might see that. I'm right interested to see who's going to play at right back. By the way, I think that is going to be really interesting as well. So, yeah, when I say at right back, I mean I don't expect the same right back to play all games. So something sort of slightly intriguing is going to be happening over there as well. Primarily, I'm going to look to see where he plays Mohamed Kudus. But we might not get to find out because I suspect he's not going to be playing on the left long term for Lopetegui. May well be that he starts on the right here because Jarrod Bowen's away. But it's going to be really interesting to have a look and see what he's doing. Anyway, it's 3:00 today. It's on the West Ham YouTube channel. I think it might be on their Facebook, but don't take my word for it. Go and check out their West Ham United social media feeds. They're going to get more accurate information off of them. We've got a watch along today. Well, I won't be watching it. I'll be on a bloody school run. Honestly, 3:00. Ridiculous. So go and check out over on the main Hammers Chat channel. Go and check out the watch along later on today. I think Gio will be doing a little build-up show as well. I'll catch up with you tomorrow when we will look to dissect and try and figure out if we've learnt anything from Lopetegui's first game in charge.